Hello, I'm Chris Russell, author of Songs About a Girl and Songs About Us, and I'm here with Will Hill.
Hello.
Author of the amazing After the Fire, which was one of my picks for the Zoella Friends Book Club Summer 2017, exclusive to W.H. Smith. So before we get too deep into the interview, for those who haven't read the book, could you give me perhaps a brief outline of the story?
Sure, it's about a 17-year-old girl called Moonbeam who has grown up inside a religious cult in the Texan desert. And it's about what happens to her after that cult comes to a typically fiery and violent end. And it's the story of how she attempts to put herself back together afterwards and how she tries to keep certain secrets regarding what happened before the fire.
Now, you were already a best-selling author with Department 19 before this book came out, so you're not a stranger to success. But how does it feel to have such an amazing reception from readers?
Well, you know what it's like. I mean, you write the book on your own and you spend a lot of time with it, and I think unless you're very, very sure of yourself, at some point you lose track of whether it's any good or not. And then hopefully you have a team of people who do think it is good, but by the time it actually comes out, you never really know what people are going to make of it. It never stops being nerve-wracking. It's my sixth novel, and I've never ever got to the point where I think it'll be fine. I always think, who knows what they're going to think this time.
I think in a way that fear that the book you've written is not good enough is strangely essential to the craft of being an author. And I think if you lose that, you probably stop writing well, which is a bit scary if you are an author.
I totally agree. I think as soon as you finish a book and think, that's brilliant, then yes, I think you've probably gone wrong.
I think the secret to it is Moonbeam herself, who is this incredibly complex and sort of compelling and feisty and unpredictable kind of character. How did you go about building her character?
Well, I think I wanted to make her as real as I could make her, fundamentally. I wanted her to be, she was always going to carry the story, if you didn't believe her, if you didn't, not always like her, actually, I was going to say if you didn't like her. There are moments when you may not completely like her, where she's stubborn and she can be slightly difficult, but if you don't believe her and you don't care about her, the book was never going to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wanted her to be three-dimensional. I didn't want her to just be this paragon of virtue. I didn't want her to be perfect, but I also didn't want her to be a sort of stock, just strong female character.
I actually, the character that I found the most moving and kind of striking was actually Luke.
Yeah.
Who, let's not get too spoilery, but...
No, but is very damaged.
He's very damaged, and, he's despicable, really, when you first meet him, and then as you learn more about his backstory, it's utterly heartbreaking.
I think so too. I gave it to my girlfriend and my agent, who are always the first readers of mine, and I was sort of watching very closely, and my girlfriend gets very annoyed because I have a tendency to ask her kind of every 10 pages, are you enjoying it? And she's...
It's like, well, I was until you stopped me from reading.
Until you keep nagging me about it, I was. And I can remember asking them both, what do you sort of feel about Luke? And at a certain point they were just like, we hate him. We absolutely hate him. I can't wait for him to get his weapons. And by the end of the book, very much similar to yourself, Sarah, particularly my love, was just like, I just feel so sorry for him. Yeah. And that was one of the key moments that made me think, actually, this might be working.
I got to say, I could talk about this book all day. There's only so much battery in the camera.
There is only so much battery.
And I think we're 2 minutes off our end time. So
okay.
Just quickly, if you can talk about it, what's next for you?
I can't say that much, but the new book should be next year. Should be next summer. We've just signed the contract for it, so it's definitely happening.
Excellent.
And I'm writing it at the moment. It is another teenage girl protagonist, but a very different character to Moonbeam, and it will be a more straightforward novel in the sense that it won't have the back and forth structure of After the Fire, but it will take place over a very short period of time.
Okay.
One night, basically, in a particular city in the world. It's a sort of thriller about a girl and her family, but it's also about globalization and the war on drugs.
Sign me up.
Donald Trump's wall.
Get me approved.
And any number of other things.
Well, look out for that. Will, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much, and thank you very much for choosing it again.
Pleasure. And guys, if you want to check out the rest of the content in the book club, head to whsmith.co.uk/Zoella Book Club. And please do join in the conversation online. The hashtag is Zoella Book Club. Chat to us, chat to Will, tell him what you think of his book. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Thanks.